James. We're at Antelope Audio. We're in the lounge of Antelope Audio. We have a nice employee lounge down here with foosball and coffee, and it's a fun place. So if you're ever in Sofia, Bulgaria, just call us up and stop by. We're always happy to see our end users and our dealers and our VIPs here at Antelope at the headquarters. I'm with Marie from the marketing department. She's got a list of questions that we've collected so far. I guess we've got some viewers out there. We had a little interruption. Sorry about that with the folks that were waiting on the previous link, but we are live now and at the new link, and we'll spread this one out there in our social media. So sorry if we missed you in the changeover to the new link. So Marie, what questions have we gotten so far from our users?
So let's start with the first question is, what is the difference between basic and premium package, the discrete?
So the discrete 4 and 8, if you're going to get a shot of those, Tom, if you'd be so kind. They basically come in 3 bundles each. The discrete 4 basic, the discrete 4 premium, and the discrete 4 with edge model. And then the discrete 8 comes in a premium, a basic and a premium, and then there's a bundle with the edge and 6 Verge microphones. And the difference between the basic and the premium are basically more effects. The discrete 4 comes with 2 channel strips of up to 2 effects each. So kind of 2 by 2, I guess, is the easiest way to describe that. If you go to premium, you get 4 by 4. So instead of having a total of 4 effects, you get 16, plus you get 16 channel strips over AFX to DAW once that plugin is released. That plugin's not going to go out immediately when the discrete 8 goes out, but it's going to come soon, and you will receive that with the premium bundle for free. So more instances of the effects is the biggest differences, Marie.
Yes. Next effects is for the effects in discrete 8. What will be there? What will be there?
So the effects that are going to be available are all of our effects. Essentially, I've got a huge list, and including our various EQ models, our compressor models, the new premium compressors or Icon series, as we refer to it. The Impressor is going to be available. The Tube Child, all of our guitar cabinets and models will be available. So you're basically going to get all of our effects, which is over 50 now. You'll just have fewer instances of them. For people that are just doing overdubbing, some guitar work, some working maybe with a singer, you really don't need to upgrade. You're going to have those. And if you want to upgrade and add a microphone, then you'll get the microphone models and the mic preamp models along with that microphone purchase. So there's some options out there depending on what you need.
Let's read the next questions. The next question from our viewers are, what is the differences between discrete and the other Antelope interfaces?
The discrete interfaces have new mic preamps. They are fully discrete design, and we're going to actually model. We are modeling that discrete preamp for our other interfaces. So it's a bit of a flavor preamp, not a strong flavor, not a lot of THD, but it's a smoother sound in the top end. The bass response is just a little bit more like a console sound. We wanted to have something special for this product that differentiates it with the pack and with other interfaces.
Someone's asking what's special about the Verge mic.
Well, let's get to that once a moment, Tom.
Just to let you know, yeah.
Let's remember that question. Yeah. But as far as the other differences between discrete, it is the Antelope sound. They're very similar. It's very similar to our Orion Studio sound. Both the headphone outs excellent, the A to Ds are excellent, the mastering grade outputs are excellent. It's the Antelope sound at a new price point. It's not an entry-level product. It's an entry price product, and we're really excited about it. Where we scaled back was on the channel counts. So you don't get as many channels with the 4 and the 8 as you would a Zen Tour or even as opposed to discrete 4 or an Orion Studio as opposed to discrete 8. You get fewer channels and you get less channel strips of the effects. To answer that Verge question, because I see you getting more questions as we're working here. Yeah. The Verge is our small diaphragm condenser microphone. We wanted a microphone that could come in at a low price point to model small condensers and electrets. And that microphone will be utilized accurate. Because of the physics of the mic, we really don't think it's feasible to take a small condenser, make it sound large, because the surface of that diaphragm just isn't large enough. But it's perfect for modeling small diaphragm condensers and electrodes, and we will be releasing a list. I don't have a whole list for you today, but the usual candidates of various top-end small condensers are what we're going to model there. Do you have another question?
Yeah, they asked you to describe what basically FPGA means.
Good question. We refer to our processing chip as an FPGA chip because that's what it is. It's not DSP, it's quite different. Even though the approach to modeling is quite similar, we're pre-programming the FPGA that then runs in real time as opposed to creating code that will run serial on a DSP chip, basically one command at a time or one line at a time. Another way to describe the differences is a microprocessor uses serial processing, again, one command at a time. An FPGA utilizes parallel processing. So the chip is all running at all of the models are running at the same time. When we turn on an effect or select a new compressor, we're not turning on new code, we're accessing a modeling engine that is always running. So the closest, I guess, way to describe it is an ASIC chip, which is a hardware chip with programming that can be done in a manufacturing plant. We're able to do this in the field programmable gate array, and we're able to update that and add new models and even change the wiring configuration of your interface. And that's why the FPGA is so powerful. Because its programming language is quite complex and it's not as easy to do as DSP programming, it requires very special talent and skills, and we have a very special team of FPGA coders. So this is how we're able to accomplish this type of programming when it really hasn't been done on this scale for pro audio so far.
Someone's just asking how we differentiate between the Discrete and the Zen Tour.
Kind of answered that a minute ago, but the Zen Tour specifically has obviously a desktop format. It does have a slightly better A to D chips, by about 4 dBs or 3 or 4 dBs better. So you're going to get a slightly better sound, a few more dB on that mastering grade output. It's going to come with all 16 channels of our AFX as opposed to the Discrete 4 Basic, which comes with 2, or even the Premium, which comes with 4, and then you have to use the plugin. The Zen Tour comes with all 16 of those channels that are always available at any time, so it's got some advantages there, some sonic advantages. It also has more outputs than a Discrete 4. It has 10 total outputs versus 4 plus the monitor outputs on the Discrete 4. So, and monitor switching. So there are the AV monitor switching and the touchscreen. So the Zen Tour is kind of for that guy who's happy with that desktop. Discrete 4 is something that you're going to throw in a backpack and take around with you around the world, that kind of thing. Next question.
What are the microphone and preamp models?
Microphone and preamp models. We posted some models of the microphones. We're posting very soon a complete list, but there's certainly models from some of the top names, some of the old classics like the 47, the 67, the 87. I know that one was maybe not as exciting as some of them. Certainly the C12 is on the list. The Elam 251 is on the list. And preamps is a growing list right now. And if you want to get a shot here of a couple preamps that we're modeling here, these are vintage models, very heavy. This is another big advantage. This is a V76 preamp, super heavy. So you can imagine modeling that is certainly going to be advantageous with a very light Discrete 4 or a Zen Tour when those models are also announced sometime around the first of the year or early part of next year. We'll be also migrating these models to other interfaces in our line. Here we have a Giraffe preamp that's been taken apart by our hardware team. We sort of went up there and borrowed it, but it'll give you an idea of the component-based modeling that we do on the FPGA, where we literally take apart these preamps or these devices, and this goes for our EQ modeling, our compressor modeling, and we measure each component. So we take a look at the schematic, we get a general idea of the signal flow of I guess the electronics flow of the circuit board itself, and then we can model that, but you can also measure each component to know specifically the coefficients and the voltages of each each component of the preamp. So it really is component-based modeling, and we wanted to give you a representation of that here. And next question, do we have any more live questions there?
Some people are asking about the difference between the Edge and the Verge mics.
Well, there's a big difference between the microphones. The Edge is a dual capsule, discrete design microphone. We designed from the bottom up, and we tune the capsule. It's edge mounted as opposed to center mounted capsule, which one of our major competitors offers. It's also what the UAV7 would offer. But the classic microphones like the C12 and the 251 were also edge mounted capsules and had a very smooth sound. So to model that sound accurately, we needed to start with first that edge mounted capsule to be very similar to those classic microphones, but also the discrete electronics, which is very important because a lot of the microphones use off-the-shelf chips, they use op amps, transformers somewhere in the path, and these create THD. So when you're trying to model a specific THD, it's much better to start with a low distortion source and then apply your modeling algorithms from there. So this is the advantage to that fully discrete design. And the small cap microphone was one of many that we measured and took a look at that had very low distortion. It's affordable, it sounded very good. We took it to the studio, we listened to it in high SPL sources. So it's a microphone that we chose out of several different capsules for our small diaphragm modeling. So that's the main difference there. One is two capsules, large diaphragm. The other one is one capsule, small diaphragm. Different animals, different tools for different modeling. Tom?
Yeah, what is the difference between in the preamps between the Tor and the discretes?
The difference between the preamps, well, I mean, this is probably a question more for the hardware team. It is a new design in the preamp of the discrete. It is slightly more, I guess, a flavor, although I didn't hear it particularly muddying up anything. I would say the response from my ear listening to both of them was a slightly smoother top end and bass response on the discrete. Quite similar because they use the same converters, and keep in mind they're also designed together to work integrated with our A to D conversion. So it is a slight flavor, I guess, to be fair, in that it does smooth the characteristics a little bit on the top and the bottom. And again, that's one of the reasons we're going to model that discrete preamp for our other interfaces. You have another question, Marie?
Yeah, I had a question about AFX to DAW, when it will be released and the algorithmic emulations will be accessible.
We've been working on this AFX to DAW plugin. It is in beta testing right now. It's hard to, software is ready when it's ready. You're going to receive it with the premium package. Our other interfaces like Zentour are going to receive it for free. That's another differentiator, by the way, between a Discrete 4 Basic and a Zentour, where the Zentour owners will automatically receive that plugin when it's ready. That plugin is much different than, again, the competition working with DSP. What that plugin does is give you access to our FPGA, and so that FPGA, those AFX, come to life within your DAW environment, and that has a few advantages. One, you can perform automation within the DAW of all of the controls of the AFX, EQs, and compressors. The other thing that you can do is then save those settings when you save your project, and of course it does all the routing sample accurately out to our interface and backend, and it saves you DSP power. You can route that yourself now, but it is advantageous, obviously, to have that happen a little easier within the DAW. But again, to your question, on the shorter term, we're probably looking maybe in the 4 to 6 week range from now. Could stretch out a little longer. Software is always ready when it's ready, so that's kind of the standard answer in our industry. But we're close enough and confident enough with the performance so far from our tests that we're able to announce it. We're confident in announcing it and to tell you that it's coming soon.
Someone was asking if it's compatible with iPad.
All of our products are compatible over USB, class compliant USB. We don't have an app to run class compliantly. We have an iPad app to run on the computer, so if you're connecting to a computer and the iPad's on the network, you can remote control various things like mic preamp gains and headphone gains and the monitor gains. These things can be controlled by a pad or a phone device or Android. But right now we don't have a direct to iPad connection plus the panel. So you can certainly use it to record it to an iPad, but you'll need to control it from the front of the unit as far as gain controls go. Any more questions there?
Yes, people are interested in other product of us, Amari. When it coming out and will it be include all the 50 FX?
Okay, Amari, great question. Amari was just about, it was ready to be announced a couple weeks ago, and I sort of had a vlog out there where I even announced it. But at the very kind of 11th hour, we were really looking at it. We had some more feedback based on that pre-announcement, I guess. And we wanted to go back to the drawing board slightly and upgrade, to be honest, the A to D conversion. So we hope to have, and not the chip, but the actual sample rates, if that gives you a hint of what's coming. So we're gonna do something we feel is pretty significant with that product and raise the bar, and we expect to have an announcement probably by the end of the year or early next year. So keep an eye out for that re-announcement around NAMM time. So, you know, this innovation and technology is a real-time moving target sometimes, and Antelope can move pretty quickly, and in this case, we did it at the 11th hour, and we're going to make the product even better. So for those people that's right for, that's about when we're going to be announcing that specific product. That's a really specific high-end 2-channel in-out type desktop type product for audiophiles, but certainly for some pro audio people, I could see them wanting the access to some of that high-end technology. It's not an interface per se in the sense that it doesn't have mic pre's, and it's not really going to have guitar effects. It'll have certain EQ compressor effects, not the entire list, but certain ones that tailor to its strengths for listening to music and for mastering or even remastering your music collection. So it's a little bit more of a specific type product. Tom, I see you have the face of a question right now.
Yeah, we've had a repeat question asking about the conversion, the comparison in the A to D, D to A between the Discretes and Zen Studio or Orion Studio as well.
It's a great question, and I can just tell you, I couldn't hear a difference the time I listened to it. There are obviously going to be some very tiny nuanced differences, but the chip, you know, we're talking about 2-3 dB, 3 dB difference, and since our clocking, it has as much to do with the sound as a chip choice does for us with Antelope, and both of these devices have Antelope clocking embedded in the circuitry. I can't really say it's a big difference. It's going to be better than some of our earlier interfaces. It specs certainly better than the original Orion 32. I think even than the 32 Plus, it specs a little better than. So it's going to be better than some and not quite as good as others. It's the Antelope sound. There's no sacrifice with the unit. Something I was showing in a couple of videos during the AES show. I mean, this is heavy. It's metal. It's a very thick faceplate. We're very excited and impressed. To be honest, when I saw these products and heard them, I thought, you know, these could be $4,000 and $3,000. These could be much more expensive products. Historically, having heard so many interfaces myself, it's not a sacrifice product. This is the Antelope experience and the Antelope sound. And I'll add something that maybe people were wondering about. Next week, we're going to be posting a video of the new Easy panel, the new control panel. It is so easy. I mean, the name is perfect for it. I mean, it's one view, one screen. You have a couple tabs on the left for your destinations, a few tabs on the top for your sources, and you never have to leave that screen. If you double click on where the effects stacks are, you can add more effects and then close that window as well. I just don't think it could be for what the power of these devices, and they're still quite powerful, even at the entry price point. I can't imagine the panel being any easier. And another thing I'll throw in out there that people have been asking about is the new Thunderbolt driver, which is coming soon. I actually had Thunderbolt connected to one of our interfaces yesterday. I bought a PC when I was in New York during AES, a new HP Spectre. I brought it back here, posted a little video yesterday. It's a 2-in-1, so you can actually touch the screen as well. And I was using this just yesterday with our control panel, and it's lightning fast. I mean, the touch response is as real time as turning the knob is in real life. And it's winning me over to the PC side, to be honest. The driver should be done within the next, again, 4 to 6 weeks, somewhere in that time frame. No specific date promised yet, but it's coming soon, and we're progressing very well with our Thunderbolt implementation over Windows. Any other questions, guys?
So my last question is, when are the new products shipping?
Great question again. Discrete 8 is shipping next week. It's already in production. We did a video yesterday of the Discrete 8 in production. About a month after that ships, we're looking at Discrete 4. I think our official date is like the end of the last day of November or something like that, but you know, give or take a few days. I mean, again, these things have to be burned in, they have to be programmed, they have to be tested. You can hear someone in the back making coffee. This is our real-time break room, and we have over 130 employees now at the Antelope Headquarters, so it's quite a busy place, as you might have gathered. Tom, any other questions?
Yeah, there were further questions about the differences between the two mics and which different types of mics both of them emulate.
The large diaphragm is gonna certainly model the classic large diaphragm microphones that people are asking for. Like I said, the 47s, the 67s, the 251, the C12, and many others. I think the small, I forget if it's the small condenser that's going to do the R121, but that's coming as well. So we're doing some ribbons as well. Initially, you're probably looking at 4 or 5 models out of the gate for the first list, but they're then targeted at least 15 or plus per microphone. Very popular models. If you think of the kind of KM184s, I'm sure the small diaphragm will. Those are all targeted. So the I forget the exact model numbers for the other small condensers off the top of my head, but you could think of the usual suspects, and we'll be certainly modeling the ones that people want.
You're talking about Sony C800G. Somebody mentioned.
Somebody's asking for some specific models. I mean, the best thing we can do is just to keep updating you with information. Stay tuned to the Antelope social media channels for more info as we get it. It'll be made available. They're modeling them now. The microphones are being measured in an anechoic chamber in Europe, in Germany, as a matter of fact, in one of the best anechoic chambers in Europe. And we're doing also measurements here in-house as well. And of course, we're modeling the mic preamps. So this is all happening right now.
They're asking which mic preamps we're modeling.
Again, classic lists of tube microphones. You can see one of the models right here, VT76s, these types of classic. We're mostly looking at microphones, to be honest, that are tube or transformer that have some coloration, because our mic preamps actually sound quite good and clean, and people love using them right now. So we're not going after, at least early on, a lot of super clean. Certainly the 1073 is one that is semi-clean, I guess you'd call it, but a really nice sounding preamp. That's certainly targeted as well. So I think all the classic models, I don't think, again, anyone's going to be disappointed with the final preamp lists. And we're always open to feedback. I would again recommend the Antelope social channels. We're getting more and more active. We're working on answering those questions more and more on social media. The Antelope Users Group is another great resource. A lot of friendly people up there. We're always active on Gear Sluts. We're always active answering questions there. You can reach out to any of us, info@antelopeaudio.com, or our support team. We've got one of our support guys here sitting in just in case I need help with an answer. But how am I doing so far? Are we nailing it?
Doing great. In fact, absolutely great.
Dinner's on.
People are also asking if we're going to accumulate all the questions at the end and make them available to people in text.
I think that's a great idea. And we'll do an FAQ of all these questions and
the ones we've missed
paraphrase what I've tried to answer here. And the beautiful thing about doing that digitally is we can update those as more information, because I know I haven't been able to perfectly answer every question, but I can tell you we're here doing this live right now, even though probably most of you will watch it on the replay. We're doing this live because we want to confront those questions. We want to answer your questions. And we want you as excited as we are about the new Discretes and the Edge and the upcoming Verge. Any last questions, guys?
Can both mics be used on quiet sources, somebody asks?
The sensitivity is quite good. Matter of fact, the microphones, I can tell you that the Edge microphone is being designed to sound amazing on its own. Our engineers believe it's going to be competitive with $3,000 and $4,000 microphones. We've definitely gone to great pains to create a great microphone in its own right, and the models are kind of the cherry on top, to be honest, to be able to dial in. And the beautiful thing about this technology on the FPGA is there's no latency. You're talking about sub-half millisecond. You're talking about real time. So if you put this microphone in front of a singer or an instrument, you're going to be able to change it during and actually impact the nuance of the performance based on what that artist is hearing in their headphones. So I'm, like I said, legitimately excited to use these products myself. Do you have another question there? I think we've mostly tried to answer things. I'll see if there's a few here online. Oh, there was a really good question about Windows Thunderbolt implementation. The new interfaces are Thunderbolt 2 on the discrete interfaces. We are testing back to Thunderbolt 1, and we are testing with the adapter. So far we're having pretty good success, great success, but we're going to see when that ASIO driver is done the exact performance. But we're getting great performance and using it with the adapter. So we are testing it straight to Thunderbolt 2 and on newer computers, and also the brand new computers we're also testing on Mac and PC with the adapter. So this is definitely something that we're paying close attention to. Yes, William Morris Music. We are testing with Thunderbolt 3 adapters and machines. Is this product meant to replace mic lockers? I think for some, having a mic collection means a lot of things to a lot of people. I know guys with extensive mic collections that don't use them a lot actively. But the guy who is going to buy 3-4 really expensive microphones or can't decide between 3 or 4 microphones, I think you're going to get exceptional performance. And keep in mind, these classic microphones all sounded slightly different to begin with. So I believe you're going to be able to put up our microphone with some of these classic mics, and some people will pick ours, some people will pick microphone. Say you had 5 classic C12s. They're all going to sound slightly different. And we're going to be among those varying sounds. It all depends on which one you modeled, right? So we're picking the ones that measure the best to our team and our engineers, and I do believe that they're going to be competitive with a choice of these microphones that all varied slightly. I hope that helps answer that question. Any more, guys? I know there's lots of questions coming in still. So Type-C, I don't know what that. Oh, the converter to Type-C, yes, Sergey, you're going to need a converter cable. You're going to need an adapter. Some people call it a dongle. You're going to need a USB-C to Thunderbolt. And I'll say this, make sure that you pick a computer that has USB-C doesn't always have the Thunderbolt layer embedded into it. So there's a list online, I think that's something we could share as well, of different PCs that have that Thunderbolt layer, or it's something you can Google to see, because there are specific machines that do have that. I'm seeing some great comments here. Zentour update is out in the field. They're in stores now. So the new Zentour that you buy is 124 dB. We have more announcement coming next week, a new video to relaunch that product. But that update is out. These units, these new Zentours are spectacular. And to be honest, we're talking about, again, 3 dB, 3-4 dB improvement. It's very small in the scope of things, but it's a product that's been made better not just by new A-to-D chips, but also that compressor icon series, the new effects that we've added, and the AFX to DAW will be coming free for the Zentour that's out there. And we're also releasing more new compressor models and more new effects. Oh, well, mic pre models as well if you get the microphone. So the Zentour just keeps getting better and better. We're gonna have to wrap this up for now. We'll do this again sometime. Sorry again for the people who checked in early. Come to social media. We'll answer what questions we can electronically. From Marie and for support, and Tom, our whole team, thank you very much for viewing.